Welcome back to the Activist Training Lab video course. Today in our Recruitment and Leadership Development series, we're going to be talking about how to make a leadership pitch. In our last video, we talked about one-on-one meetings. And remember that one-on-one meetings usually have a 4-part agenda: purpose, exploration, exchange, and commitment. And it's that last part of the agenda, commitment, when you might ask someone to take further action, accept new responsibility, or step into a leadership role. The question we're going to answer today is, how do you ask someone to take on a leadership role, and how do you do it in a way that makes them more likely to say yes? The answer to this question is that you need to make a good leadership pitch, and a leadership pitch is a compelling way to ask someone to step into a new role. A good leadership pitch ideally makes the person you're talking to feel excited about the role, it gives them clarity about what the role entails, and it allows them to picture themselves in that role. So here's the anatomy of a good leadership pitch. It starts with a description of the role, what kinds of responsibilities or duties the role entails, and you'll want to be specific but without going into every single detail. Then you explain why the role matters. How will it help the campaign or movement succeed? How does it fit into the bigger picture? And finally, you tell the person why you're asking them specifically. Why did you think they would be a good fit for this role? What skills, qualities, or goals do they have that made you think of them for this? The whole pitch should last about 60 to 90 seconds, long enough to provide some detail, but still short and sweet. Let's look at an example of a leadership pitch. So let's say I'm nearing the end of a one-on-one with a volunteer named Maria, and I'm about to ask Maria to take responsibility for recruitment for a community meeting we have coming up. So, Maria, one thing I wanted to talk to you about was potentially being responsible for recruitment for the community meeting we have coming up on September 12th. You would, create the Facebook event for this meeting. You would share the meeting on our other social media channels. You would send an email to everyone on our list. And you would also brainstorm other ways to get people to show up. I think, as you know, recruitment for this meeting is really important. The more people that show up to this, the more people we might be able to get involved in the campaign in the long term. And the more people who get involved, the more likely it is that we'll be able to build the power we need to pass our bill through City Council. So this meeting could have a really good impact on our campaign in the long term. And I know you have experience with social media outreach, which is one reason I thought of you for this. I also know that you're pretty organized, which is important when you're creating a recruitment plan. So I think you could be a really good fit for this role and do a great job. What do you think? Can you do it? So you can see my pitch was about 60 seconds long, and it hit all 3 parts: what the role was, why it mattered, and why I thought Maria specifically would be good at it. And then I ended the pitch by simply asking, can you do it? After a leadership pitch ends, there are 3 likely outcomes. The first is that the person says yes, and in that case, you want to thank them for accepting the role, find out what support they need, and make a plan for next steps. In the example with Maria, the next steps might include me sharing helpful resources with her, like a sample recruitment plan from a past event, and the 2 of us setting a time to check in again next week. The second outcome is that the person says no, but it's what we call a soft no or a conditional no. For example, Maria might say, I would love to help with recruitment, but I have 3 exams this month and I'm just too busy studying. So Maria is letting me know that she can't take on this leadership role right now, but she might be open to it in the future. Maria also might say something like, I'm really excited about this campaign, but I don't know anything about recruitment and I just don't really feel comfortable being responsible for that. And from this, I'm hearing that she doesn't want to take on this leadership role, but she might be open to a different leadership role. And finally, Maria might say, well, I'd love to do that, but I don't have access to the internet at home right now, so it will be hard for me to help with social media. And from this, Maria is letting me know that she wants to take on the role, but there's a barrier preventing her from doing so. The key in situations like all of these, where the person isn't saying no absolutely to taking on leadership, is to understand why they're saying no, remove barriers that are preventing them from taking on leadership, if that's possible, and explore alternate options that might work for them, like circling back next month when they're less busy or choosing a different role that they're more comfortable with. And finally, there's the third case of a hard no, or an absolute no. No, I'm not interested in getting more involved. I'm already doing as much as I want to. This is pretty clear. If Maria says this, I would know that she isn't interested in taking on further leadership, and I'm going to respect that, and I'm not going to push her to do something that she doesn't want to do. And that's how you make a leadership pitch. So that brings us to the end of our video. I hope that after watching this, you feel ready to ask someone in your organization, your campaign, or your movement to take on leadership or responsibility. I hope that you keep watching our recruitment and leadership development series, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel or visit our website for more Activist Training Lab content.